How did Alexander Isak win the battle between Newcastle and Liverpool? How did he take on all the risks to reach his dream? This video tells the story of the Swedish striker's noisy summer. From Liverpool drawing the line against Newcastle and breaking the Premier League transfer record, to Alexander Isak's strike and protest. Believe it, Liverpool fans will love this video. Welcome to the story of Alexander Isak. In the north of England, in a city that dreamed of climbing new heights, a man had become a hero. Alexander Isak, a striker who, with his goals, had brought hope to the stands of St. James's. But calm always comes before the storm. On a gray morning in Newcastle, the players entered the training ground one by one. But there was no sign of Isak. No injury, no illness, no explanation, only silence. A silence that soon shook the world. An hour later, the newspaper headlines screamed, "Isak no longer wants to play for Newcastle." And his destination? Just one name: Liverpool. Newcastle fans were shocked. Love turned into hatred. Threatening messages, flags with his name torn apart, screams echoed in the streets. But Isak, behind closed doors, smiled quietly and calmly, because he knew the only way to reach his dream was to burn all the bridges behind him. In his eyes, there was no trace of doubt anymore. Only hunger. The hunger for Anfield. And this was the beginning of a rebellion. One that was about to drive the Premier League to the brink of explosion. But the big question remained. Could Liverpool, from the heart of this chaos, give birth to a new champion? After Isak's rebellion, English football became like a battlefield. In every corner of the city, on every television program, only one name was heard: Alexander Isak. Clubs lined up one after another. Arsenal, with the dream of building a deadly attacking line. Chelsea, with endless wealth and irresistible temptations. But everyone knew the real destination was only one place: Liverpool. The Reds entered the scene and placed a historic offer on the table: 120 million euros. The number flashed on the screen. Commentators with trembling voices cried out, "This could change everything." But the answer was nightmarish. Newcastle's directors, calm and emotionless, smiled and said, "Rejected." It was as if a bomb had exploded in the world of football. 120 million euros was not enough. Liverpool fans stunned, Newcastle fans enraged, and Isak, alone in the fire he had ignited himself. And now the question is, when even a historic number is not enough, how far can Liverpool go? And Isak, how long can he remain in this cage? The hours were closing in on midnight, every second more important than the minute before. Everything hung on a thin line, a signature, a yes, a no. Weeks before this moment, a name had been whispered everywhere: Alexander Isak. The man whose goals had kept Newcastle alive did not remain silent this summer. He wrote a statement on social media that spoke of despair and broken promises. The club responded, cold and formal. "We are disappointed by the release of this statement. He is under contract." But that reaction did not extinguish the blazing fire. It only sent sparks into the air. And then, a strike. Isak did not appear at training, and he was absent from the opening games of the season. His silence made noise. The world of football was split into two halves. Those who called him a traitor, and those who praised his freedom to chase dreams. The transfer market turned into a battlefield. Clubs entered one by one. Offers were made and rejected. But the real war was only between two sides. Newcastle, guardian of their hero, and Liverpool, hungry for Anfield. Newcastle fans grew furious. The club's directors scrambled. Even the chairman, Yasir Al-Rumayyan, personally stepped in to calm the crisis. But the players' heart was already beating elsewhere. Newcastle was forced to weigh the future. The market brought solutions. Replacements like Nicolas Wiltemade and YNWA were prepared to fill the gap. Week 2 of the Premier League. Newcastle against Liverpool. A fiery battle. One of those matches where every second smells of history. Time passed 90, then 95. The game was heading for a draw, until in the 100th minute, the ball landed at the feet of YNWA. A strike, lightning in the sky, and a goal. Liverpool claimed the most dramatic victory of the season. And in the corner, Isak, with frozen eyes, watched as the team his heart belonged to triumphed against the team his heart no longer belonged to. And then came the destined moment. Deadline day. With hours left in the window, Liverpool played their final card. A definitive offer, massive, a number that overturned the history of British transfers. The contract was written, signatures made, the media shouted headlines. Liverpool breaks the British record. That same night, Isak underwent his medical, signed the contract, and the next day, his photo in the red shirt was released. The media wrote his name, the fans chanted it, and for a moment, Anfield breathed anew. When the dust settled, one truth was clear. This transfer was not the end of a drama, but the beginning of a new chapter. Liverpool now had a new number 9, a man who risked everything to wear the red shirt. He had come to write. Not only goals, not only victories, but a new part of Anfield's legacy. Alexander Isak, number 9, and this is only the beginning.